there isn't a fireside, and if you lot hadn't turned up, there wouldn't have been a chat. So I'm very grateful for you turning up. What she meant was, can you do a standalone parallel, which is a different thing, but never mind. Everything, I firmly believe, as it says up there, begins and ends with you. Now that's a shameless plug, because that's also the name of my closed Facebook group. Please request to join me on Facebook. Everything begins and ends with you, and I'll let you in. For a small fee. No, I'll let you in. That group in itself came about because of my journey and the fact that I needed support at times when I knew it but didn't dare ask for help. So if you like, that's my way of giving a little bit back for the amount of help I've had over the years. There are, in each and every one of us, how many selves? Do you know? We each of us have multiple identities, and I'm not talking schizophrenia here. Okay? I'm talking within ourselves. We have 5. We have 5 separate senses of self. Physical, emotional, social, mental and spiritual. Now, it doesn't matter what your religion is. For me, spirituality, I think Deepak Chopra got it right. We are the stillness between our thoughts. That is the essence of who we really are, if we're ever able to connect on that deeper level. Many of us, I suspect, in modern day life don't even come close, let alone having to be able to sit still in the peace and the quiet and the calm for long enough and deeply enough to be able to even acknowledge that there is indeed a stillness between each and every one of our thoughts, even though it's just like that. Mindfulness these days is a very big part of my life, and I was in a session earlier where I was part of the audience, and I recounted a tale that this is my 3rd WEF. It's not got anything to do with anything apart from the fact that I came 2 years ago, 1917? Maybe not 1917, 2017. I rocked up in Delhi for the first time, and within 10 minutes of getting off that aeroplane, I felt as though I'd come home. I really did. And I remember ringing my husband from the back of the car that the hotel sent to pick me up, and I said, I don't think I'm coming back anytime soon. He went, why, what's the matter? I went, no, I just like it better here. I felt calm, I felt peaceful, and on such a level that actually, even though at that point I was 5 years into the new improved version of me, so if you think this is bad, you want to see the old me. But I knew instinctively that I was in the right place for my soul, if that makes any sense. So today, when I talk about everything beginning and ending with you, that's exactly what I mean. Everything, absolutely everything that is in play in your lives at any second of any given day begins and ends with you. From the way you speak, to what you decide to wear every day, to how you think, to how you interact, react or respond to other people. All of you starts with you. And if somebody upsets you on any given day, remember that they may well just be having a bad day. I say to my children all the time, I have 3 grown children, 5 grandchildren. They all now know what's causing that, so I'm not having any more. But that aside, I say to my family, I am responsible for what I say. I have no control, nor do I want to be responsible for how you interpret that. If we can apply that rule across our lives, it becomes so much more peaceful. We can only control that which is ours to control, and guess what? That's us. I can control me. Today, there was a time when I was totally out of control. And for those of you that have heard me speak before, you'll understand me. But for those of you who perhaps don't know, and a very brief potted history in time, on the 26th of September 2012, I went to my GP for some routine blood test results. It was the very latest in a very long line of routine blood tests. for somebody whose life was completely out of control. My mental health had declined to the degree that at 9 o'clock on the day that I went to see my GP, I was already as drunk as a skunk. I was drinking 5 bottles of wine per day at that time. I was never sober for about 15 years. I vaguely got memories of enjoying my drinking career. I don't remember an awful lot about it, to be fair, because I was hiding. I was hiding in plain sight. I was very much in plain sight. I was 7.5 stone heavier than I am now, so you couldn't miss me if you tried. However, I was nevertheless hiding because I didn't want people to see the real me. Not so much these days. This me, the new improved version of me, has taken almost 7 years to come to this stage in my life. I'll be 7 years old on the 26th of September. There you go. I'm pretty darn educated for a 7-year-old, I must admit. However, this last 7 years, I've learned more than I ever did in any school that I ever went to, in any relationship that I've ever been in any job that I ever had. Why? Partly because I live life intentionally on purpose, as opposed to an automatic pilot, just reacting to the world and its woes, the way people acted and talked to me. Because I took responsibility for me. I became the CEO of my own life long before I had a business name, Live Fearless and Live More. I decided that I was in charge of me, and if I could help anybody along the way, or if I could influence anybody positively along the way, then that would be a bonus for me. I will spend however long I've got left living, in this realm anyway, making amends for a past that actually I blamed somebody else for far too long. And in waking up and smelling the coffee instead of the Chardonnay, I suddenly realised it was never their fault in the first place. Nobody made my choices for me. I made those all on my own. I made the choices not to take my medication. I made the choices to self-medicate with my drug of choice, which just happened to be 5 bottles of Chardonnay per day at the end. It was a waste of time. It was certainly a waste of money. And these days, I now put everything to much more beneficial use and certainly more profitable. And I'm not talking about the numbers of noughts or otherwise in my bank account. I'm talking about the profit when it comes to investing in and of myself. The time. I, without meaning to sound selfish, I am number 1 on my list every single day. Some people don't like that. I'm serious. They don't. However, that no longer bothers me. It used to bother me. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I was a daughter. Well, I still am a daughter. My parents are no longer here, but I am still a daughter. I'm a sister. I was an employee. We had pets, elderly parents. I was a giver. I was giving of myself long before I understood what mindfulness was. Long before I understood that actually we only have so many times in a day where we can say yes when we mean no. But we're going to say yes anyway because they might not like me if I don't do this. I got on the hamster wheel of life and I couldn't cope, so I forgot to look after me. How many of us have got here on an airplane? Good, I'm glad you did walk. The first thing they say to us on an airplane is when that oxygen mask drops down, get hold of it and breathe deeply. Do not try to save your husband. I wouldn't fall, honestly. Do not try to save your children. Because if you do not breathe in this oxygen, you are going to die and then you're not going to be any use to anybody else. Does that make sense? Yeah. It certainly makes sense when we're sat on an airplane, yes? Although I never did understand why they give you a life jacket and not a parachute. That aside, if we don't breathe deeply enough to feed ourselves every single day on a level that resonates with every fibre of our being, we are going to run out of steam. And the 5 senses of self I was speaking about earlier, social, physical, social, emotional, spiritual selves, these are what I deem to be the most bank accounts in the world, ladies and gentlemen. They are our personal bank accounts. Whilst ever they're operating in the black, we've got a better chance of dealing with the pressures and stresses and strains of everyday life. One by one, if they slip into the red, we fall into the realms of exhaustion, stress, overwhelm. We become burned out. We fail to look after ourselves. I'm here to tell you, every one of you today, whether you're in here accidentally waiting for the next session or you meant to come, I'm glad you're here because you need to understand when you are living your lives intentionally and on purpose, every single day, and putting yourself at the top of your list, that does not make you selfish. Self-care, the ability to love ourselves, is sanity, not vanity. I've tried insanity, it doesn't work. It's a very grim place to be. Look after yourselves. Honour, love and respect and validate yourselves each and every day, and in doing that, I promise you, your 5 personal bank accounts will be full to overflowing, and you will have so much more to give to those people who are in your life, whether you want them there or not, to love and care for them on a way that not only they deserve, but in a way that you deserve to be able to give them. Looking after yourself is of paramount importance, and when you do that, I promise you, you find that still, sweet spot that Deepak Chopra talks about, the stillness in our souls, and in that place you find balance. And balance, very often, ladies and gentlemen, is that place of peace between opposing feelings. If you're there, you're already successful. Congratulations. If you're not there, I promise you when you get there, which you all should strive to do, you will be the most successful person that you can be, and it won't have the slightest bit to do with the amount of money in your bank account. My name's Sue Kerr. These days, I am a fearless person. I don't like spiders, but I am a fearless person, and I help other people to be the same, because I teach them to forgive themselves, embrace themselves, accept themselves, respect themselves, let go of their past if that's an issue, empower themselves to be their self, and in that way they become successful. Am I a rich person? No. Could I be poorer? Yes, in terms of financially. I don't actually care. I am the most successful person I know because I am happy being who I am. I don't purple suit and everything. No, this is me. To quote the song, this is me. I am happy. I implore you to be happy. Whoever you are, whatever you do with your lives, make it count. Because that second, that was your life. This is the moment when we string all these incidental, accidental moments together and we get to the last day on earth, we look back and we call that life. At that point, it's up to you to decide how successful you are. Thank you.